The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. If you or anyone you know might be interested in making a television show, please call 260-421-1250. Access Fort Wayne is a department of the Allen County Public Library.
Hello and welcome to a dose of Landis. I can't believe it, man. We're at Fort Wayne Wizard Stadium.
Oh,
Wizard Stadium.
Feels good.
Of all places, Wizard Stadium. They tore it back. They tore it down back in 2005, if I'm correct. But before I get into our special guest, this guy has been supporting me for years. He's everywhere. He's a Fort Wayne icon, a huge Fort Wayne icon. In his eyes, he doesn't think so, but he is, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion.
Thank you, Jeff.
But you know what? It's pretty bad. I had to have to use these in order to get them on. I'm joking.
I needed it. I needed this. My price is high.
Right here. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I got a friend that does stuff, and I'm all about retro stuff. You know, I would never ever.
We got the old food coupons.
Yeah, I got the old food stamp coupons right here. Did it for retro. I'm all about retro. No, Mitch would never do anything like this.
Doing the throwback.
Yeah, throwback. Some old food stamps right here. Yeah. I thought, figure why not, you know. How often do you see these? Not often.
Not often.
And it's kind of funny how we're in a Wizard Stadium. I've got my ticket. I got my ticket to come in.
I didn't get mine.
He gets the.
That was my one request. I didn't get it.
I got my VIP ticket inside. That's pretty cool. It's pay. It's the pay for both of us. That's pretty cool. Fort Wayne Wizards ticket. I think this is the very last one actually.
Really, the last game?
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think that was actually around 2008 because I worked at Coney Island when they were there last season.
Nice.
My good friend Kenny and his son Colin, we went to the last handful of games. It was a really good time.
Fort Wayne Wizards. Speaking of that now, my guest is Mitch Frazier. You guys know him all over. No matter what he does, he gets all types of love. A guy that I've known for forever. No ego, very chill, doesn't judge nobody, doesn't sit there and criticize anybody. Because when a person makes mistakes, he's always there for me. How's it going, Mitch?
Very good, Jeff. Thank you for having me, bud.
Oh my God, it's been what in the making? How long? Because I know we've talked.
We've been talking about it for 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer. But for the past couple, we've been talking about it a lot. So it's good to finally be here.
Yeah.
In Wizard Stadium.
Right.
Feel back home.
Right. Well, it's not too cold in here though.
No, it's not.
It's kind of, I don't know, I just fell in love with the green screen. I was like, man, we should do something that's retro. Like, there's a lot of things that, as our childhood, because we're pretty much grew up the same way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that people, like the Wizard Stadium. You go ask somebody now about the Wizard Stadium, what's that?
What's up?
So I just thought we'd bring back some retro.
A whole generation of people have been, kids have been born that never knew what never knew what it was, never heard about it.
Yeah, that's true. And then the next show we're going to be in front of the Wizard Stadium, which is kind of cool. We don't need tickets for that one. we don't need tickets for that one.
Leave it to Jeff Landis to create a space-time continuum cut in the fabric of time to bring us to a new dimension, indoor Wizard Stadium.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would love to also do and I'm sure you remember this business. We could talk about Fort Wayne businesses for a while, but this is all about you. The Subterranean. You remember Subterranean?
I remember it. That was a little bit before my time. I drove by there all the time, and my mom was like, "That's where people who wear baggy pants and chains on their pants go." I was like, "All right," and then later found out it was a really cool music store and bookstore. A lot of cool stuff there. It's definitely a place I probably would have gone had I been in that era. But yeah, that was just when that closed, and then Hot Topic got to the mall when I was like in like 2000, around that era. That's when I started being a weirdo.
Hey,
doing all that cool stuff.
Being weird is awesome. But we're here to talk about, not only things of Fort Wayne, but you've been in the entertainment business for how long? What made you get started? Because again, I said the entertainment business, I said we do different aspects of entertainment.
Yep.
And with you being a musician, playing in bands, it's a drug, especially in front of a lot of people. What made you decide, okay, this is what Mitch wants to do?
Me and my best friend Nick, we started a band. When was that? We wanted to start a band around 2000, 2001 called the Sexy Assassins, because we loved the Sex Pistols, and we really wanted to start a cool punk band. And that didn't work, and then we started playing with Nick's little brother Al on drums. And by that point, we didn't want to just sound like a straight punk rock band. By that point, we had started to discover a lot of other bands like The Faces and Chuck Berry and Tom Petty, and kind of wanted to kind of mix it all together. And we started a band called the B Sharps, and that took off. And that was around 2001. We were playing in bars when we were in 7th, 8th grade.
What?
Yeah, we'd have to be in with our parents. They'd have to be watching us the whole time, but we did it, and we kept on doing it. And then we played throughout high school. We played a bunch of local DIY shows and house and party shows. There's this thing in town called Burning Trash Records. They put on really cool shows back then. They're doing it again now. They have a venue called Muse on Main, which me and the guys from the B Sharps will be getting back together this Christmas season on Saturday the 21st. We'll be playing there. But it's cool. It's like you said, it's the music industry, entertainment thing. It's not even just the industry aspect of it. It's just it's a drug. It's like water and air. You need it to when you're an artist and need to let it out there. No matter what, you kind of if you're not doing it, it feels like you're suffocating. You don't feel at peace if you're not doing it. So. I definitely not playing as much as I used to. I kind of moved back home. Wanted to work on myself. And another bad thing about the entertainment business is in the industry is, you can be surrounded by a lot of substances, drugs, and alcohol that just, can wear on you after time, and staying in bars late night after night. So I wanted to move back, be closer to my family, and, just work on myself, and through that, have my own family started now, and a bunch of good stuff has happened. But
congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you so much. Best thing that's ever happened in my life with meeting my beautiful wife Emily, and we have 3 beautiful little baby dogs: Raymond, Hamish, and Ronnie. But I will always need to perform. You always need to do it. You're lying to yourself if you say you don't need to do it. It's music and art, it's a part of your life, and it runs through your blood if you got that bug.
Sometimes, as an entertainer, like, I haven't done a show since, like, October is when I had my friend from high school or middle school come on, and that was, like, a couple months ago, and I've actually had to take a little bit of a break because I help us out with this show and other people out with theirs. But sometimes I feel when I'm not there entertaining people that I get bored and I feel like I'm worthless. I mean, do you ever have that? Do you have that?
I've seen it happen to you on Facebook. I've seen it happen to myself. It's the same cycle. It's you'll overwork yourself and extend yourself with entertainment, and then before you know it, you're like, oh God, I'm gonna take a little break here. And then at first you're like, oh God, this is heaven. Oh my goodness, it's the best thing ever. And then 4 days later, 5 days later, a week or two later, you're like, oh God, what do I do? I need to start creating something. I need to start talking to people. I need to start doing this. But it's just a cycle. You have to like kind of find the balance and ride it out, I think, you know. But yeah, definitely. I've seen it happen to you. And I'm sure if you talk to any of our loved ones, they've all like witnessed us go through it. Like, we'll be relaxed and great at first, and then if I don't pick up my guitar for a couple days and have a show or a band practice or something that I have to do, it starts driving you stir crazy. And
I was always taught is you could never relax when it comes down to, you know, entertainment business or just in general, because again, there's always that competitor. You know, there's a lot of competition. Back then, I used to have an S-load of competition back then from wrestling from then to now. And now I don't have that. But sometimes you got to worry about, well, what if the next guy is better than you? Or
totally.
Because you want to be on top. Do you ever deal with that too? Like, have you been competitive? Because I know you're back and chill, but competitive always happens no matter workplace.
I've always tried. I've always noticed and witnessed myself whenever I take it back and look, whether it comes to work or the music thing. I like to be around people, like surround myself with a healthy, competitive, you know, type of thing. Like not where I've never once been in someone that I've worked with or played music around or another band that I've surrounded myself with. You know, part of it's what I do too, but that I've always been like, oh God, they think they're better than me. Screw that. Blah 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 blah. And that's kind of a toxic place to be. It's always been like, oh, look at that person that I like and appreciate their other band and their other thing, and I like that to drive me to do more. You know, it's a healthy competition. It's a, oh man, look what they could do. If I could add that to what I'm doing, that would push me over the edge in the next step. And I think that applies to almost any aspects of life. Yeah, it's all about healthy competition and healthy push and pull and building each other up. That's what I've always been blessed. I've been blessed to have that around a good chunk of my life.
Yeah, like I said, I've dealt with all kinds of stuff. I've had people come on my show and start their own thing because they thought they were better than, you know. Like I said, I'm very. If you know me, yes, I have a bad rap. I've gotten blasted before by asking for nudes. I'm a human being. Okay, forgive me. I'm a human being. You know, I've been blasted for all kinds of stuff, being a mean person, which I can be, but I'm not like I used to be.
Yeah.
But sometimes competitiveness will bring that out of you, and I've had people that's used me for my show. I've had people that's done that for me, and it's like, you know, with me, no matter what, even with my ex-wife and her new man, with my kids, I still feel like there's still competition, which there isn't, because in my head I'm always driven as I got to be the number one, and it sucks. I wish I get that vibe that you have, where it's just like I said, you got to be that number one person. Because again, if you're not that number one person, you feel like with me, I feel like I'm worthless if I'm not on top. If that makes any sense.
Well, you're always worth something, Jeff. And you know, you just kind of got to learn, you know, work on it. Everybody's different. I can't tell you how to achieve the way I've felt about things.
Yeah.
You know, everybody is different. There's not one way to achieve anything that's good and positive for yourself. Every single aspect is different. We all have a different story that no one else can truly understand. But, you know, in general, though, I find this working for a lot of people. You know, taking yourself out of the situation for a second. Look at all that you do have. Look at all that you have what you can be grateful for. Take deep breaths and, you know, try to think deep on the little things.
Yeah.
You know, and then go back and say, yeah, I can still have a little bit of natural competition. That's me. But you don't have to feel bad about that. And you can also be appreciative of all the great things.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know why I'm one track mind. I hate that. Speaking of working with people, now you're everywhere. I mean, not only in Texas where you're everywhere, but in Fort Wayne and just all over. You know, you're in all kinds of bands. You play with all kinds of people. Who's been? I know you said you don't have a competition, but who's been your most? Name your top 5 people that you've already worked with that you love to work with all the time. Because they've always got that one person you love to work with all the time.
Totally. God, my best friend Nick Allison, who I started playing music with, he has a great band. He's still making wonderful, beautiful rock and roll music to share with the world. Nick Allison and the Players Lounge. They're still in Texas doing their thing. Actually, absolutely, working with him was the most beautiful thing on earth. It was always is like second nature, just like breathing. Pick up a guitar. We made music together. Kenny Taylor, he was my guitar teacher. We ended up doing kind of an annual Chuck Berry birthday show. We've been doing that the 07 the past couple of years, but that's always in October. It's around the same time as me and Chuck Berry's birthday, so that's always a blast.
Check that out.
And throughout that, me and Kenny Taylor, we did the Down the Line concert series with my band, the B Sharps, at the Embassy. I think we did the third or fourth year. We did the Who with him. That was one of our biggest influences.
That had to be a rush. I mean, Embassy Theater.
It was that night. It was the first. I think it was the first year it sold out there.
Wow.
It was a rush, and then we got a standing ovation for doing our Who set, and that I was 21 at the time, and that was a huge rush, and everybody else was younger than me in that band, so some of us were I think Alex was still in high school or the last year of it or so, but that was a huge rush. That's Nick, Kenny. I've always loved working with the old lead singer of the B Sharps, Keith. Anything we've ever done has always been phenomenal. He's one of my dearest friends ever. Then another ex-B Sharp member, Alex Allison, Nick's brother. Anytime I get to have him play drums while I'm playing is nothing short of inspiring. It pushes me to be a better player. And there's another young group of kids that do that for me very much. They're one of them's Kenny Taylor's son. His name's Colin, and Sam Clay and Kellen Baker. They're in a band called Uncle Muscle, and they sound absolutely phenomenal. And every now and then I'll sit in with them and play. And anytime I do, it expands my bandwidth of being a performing musician. They always push me to be better than what I feel I am, and then afterwards I get to work and practice to keep up with that little push they've given me.
So they're pretty much your next version of you. Pretty much like you know what I mean.
You can see definitely they're completely themselves in the best way possible. But there's always when you look back on things and see people do things similar with you, there'll always be parallels. But God, they just looking at them for them being themselves, they're really great, and always an honor to play with them. Also, Brian Lamert, that's a guy I never performed with him, but he worked with me at B Sharp, and he still works with me at Sweetwater in the music store today, where I currently work. I've been there the past 3 years. He's a type of musician that just being around him, he doesn't teach people things. He doesn't give lessons or anything, but just being around him will expand my vocabulary and ability to play, and just one of those people you can just stand next to and kind of become better at what you do. And that's a true gift. But yeah, that's.
I know you work with Paul Stewart too.
Paul yes, Stewart. Yeah, he does that. Paul Stewart. That's another musician that I've worked with that pushes me to be my best. He does usually every year. He's done the Chuck Berry thing with me and Kenny Taylor. He couldn't this year. He was out of town. And Tommy Saul filled in for him. He did a phenomenal job. But Paul Stewart absolutely kills it. He was actually taught to play piano by Chuck Berry's piano player, Johnny Johnson.
Oh, nice.
Johnny Johnson, if you look in any rock and roll history book, he's one of the most undercredited people for creating the sound of rock and roll. Like that Chuck Berry sound, Chuck Berry was copying the riffs his piano player was doing. And Paul Stewart was taught by him, and when he plays those old Chuck Berry, Johnny Johnson piano licks, it is awe-inspiring. If anybody, Paul Stewart's a real hidden treasure, not hidden treasure, but a treasure in this town, and people, if they have a chance to go see him, I think he plays regularly at the Venice and all over town.
Paul, our camera guy, he works with him a lot. And
cool.
That's how I met him. Well, I first heard of.
Hey, Paul.
I heard of Paul Stewart through Night Shift with Kevin Ferguson when he was with Chris Worth. And then I interviewed Paul on when they did this thing with him. So Paul's a really, he's a treasure here in Fort Wayne. Everybody knows what he does. He does a really good job. When I seen you guys work together, I was like, oh wow, that's a small world.
Yeah.
Because you try to work with anybody possible. Who is it that you would like to work with that you haven't worked with before? Because we have a lot of talent here in Fort Wayne.
Actually, there's someone that I haven't worked with that I would love to work with. That me and him have been talking about doing something together. Kenny Taylor was one of my guitar teachers, but also Tom Grant. He was another guitar teacher of mine, and he doesn't teach anymore, but he works in a different department than me at Sweetwater. And me and him have been talking together about how we always have wanted to do something together, and now's the time in our life where we probably have. It's about the right time where we're both free enough in our respected times in our life that we can probably get something going now. So I'm looking forward to that. And then literally anybody who is willing to work with me. It's as long as the music vision's somewhat relatable, but that musical spectrum of the stuff I like is very wide and vast. I'm a firm believer of there's two types of music, good and bad. I like every single genre, but there's something I like and dislike from everyone.
No, that's how it is with life and stuff in general too.
Yep.
Now, if you could play any venue, I mean, you've already played the Embassy, which I'm sure that's on a lot of people's agenda. I mean, I would love to play the Embassy just to do a show that we're doing now in front of people.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Coliseum, I've filmed at the Coliseum. That's one of my favorite venues ever to film. I mean, Heroes and Legends, you have to refer. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
totally.
The Coliseum is like my major one. What is your major one that you haven't done that you would love to do on your bucket list?
On my bucket list.
We all have that. We all have
currently,
those.
and we've just named a bunch of Fort Wayne places. So besides Radio City in New York, besides the big legendary venues, the Ryman in Nashville, all the huge ones.
The big one.
As far as in Fort Wayne, the Clyde. I've gone and enjoyed some shows there. Los Lobos was one of the best shows if not the absolute best show I've ever seen in Fort Wayne. Also, last summer saw Dwight Yoakam at the Follinger. That was phenomenal. But the sound in the Clyde, my work, the owner of my business, Chuck, he put every single bit of the best energy and effort into making that the Clyde the best. It's the best venue I've heard. I've been to all those venues in New York and Nashville, and when I was in Austin, and I've been to every one of the world's one of their the best sounding places on earth, and the Clyde literally sounds better than those. Sound system, the soundproofing, every single aspect of that theater is perfect, and I'd love to feel that on the stage. It's I know if it sounds good when I enjoy a band there, it'd sound even better to play and actually feel that energy and rush.
It's a good place. I was there. I've only been there once, and that's when I got to interview Jack Russell's Great White.
Cool.
And I was planning on going to the show and everything because I had the boys, obviously. And next thing you know, after walking with Jack back to his hotel room, it's like, see you at the show. I was like, I'm not going. I'm not able to go. But thanks to Nicole's daughters, they were able to watch the boys, so I got to go in the Clyde Theater for the very first.
My new band, it's members of the old band Tito Discovery. We're kind of billed as Tito Discovery, but we're going to be having a new name. Manwich is looking pretty strong on the list.
Nice. Now we got 5 more minutes before. Man, I can't believe it's already 5 minutes. It seems like it's longer than that. I'm enjoying this. We might have to do a part 2 of me interviewing you. Okay, the next show is people's interviewed me before, and Mitch, he's it's the first time for this, so we're gonna interview me on the next show. We're gonna figure out deep stories. I'm gonna confess on some stuff that you'd be like, did that really happen? Oh my God. Some scandals, yeah. Beginning of the show before you interview me, but yeah. Before we go, anything to say to the fans out there?
Thank you, everybody. It's a blessing to be a part of anybody's life. Thank you for everybody. Anybody that's ever enjoyed anything I've done, whether it's music or say hi to them on the street. It's always been a pleasure to me.
And
love you.
Any booking information that you want to give out?
You can hit me up on the Facebook. My name's Mitch Frazier. Or if you have an idea, want to put it to Jeff, he can relay the information to me anytime. I'm easy to get in touch with.
Oh yeah, I've got his number. I've got his number. He hits me up on Facebook. So
you want to cheers some pizza?
You know what? Today, thank you for he brought pizza for the crew, and he's the guest. And normally that's supposed to be my job, but
cheers.
Cheers. My favorite taco pizza.
We ran out of stuffed crust. I had some of that earlier.
Right. So thank you guys. Stay tuned for a dose of Landis. You'll see some shocking things on the next one.
Oh.
Totally good.